Hello, ladies of Project Limitless. I'm so excited to be here live. I apologize for the delay. We had some tech issues here on my side, but now we are live in Project Limitless to talk about shadow work that makes us rich as fuck. One of my favorite subjects, one of my favorite things to talk about, favorite things to teach on. And I couldn't be more happy to be part of this container. I couldn't be more thrilled to be here. Thank you so much, Cassie, for putting this together, for having me be a part of it. So I'm really excited to get into this with you ladies today. So the work that I'm going to show you is exactly the techniques that I have used for myself, exactly the techniques that I teach my clients that have had me tripling my rates, quadrupling my income, and not by, applying another strategy, not by buying another thing. Hi, ladies. Not by buying another thing, but rather than looking without, from looking within. And the beautiful thing is that you're able to do this for yourself anytime that you want. So anytime if you're feeling like that void, or if you're feeling a plateau, or if you're feeling bored, or if there's something you can't put your finger on it. So this is a process that will always work, and it will always help you hit that spot to make that difference, to make a difference that makes a real difference for yourself, for your business, for your life, for your confidence, how you feel in your work, about your work, how you speak about your work, how you price yourself, how you price your services, how you determine your rates. All of this comes from being self-sourced within. So for those who sometimes can be wary of shadow work or be like, oh no, it's like emo and I'm gonna be crying all the time. That is not the case. Shadow work is not like that. In my world, we call it shadow work, but make it chic, and we have fun with it. All shadow work is being honest with yourself. It's being honest with yourself, getting to a place of neutrality and self-acceptance with yourself, with everything about yourself, with your quirks, with your past, with your experiences. When you can own and even celebrate all of those things, you become invincible. And like my clients and I, we actually joke about this kind of shadow work. Some of them call it we call it the spiritual orgasm, or like the shablam, because of the extreme sense of deep satisfaction that you get after you do this kind of work. If you don't know me, I love sparkling water, so I'm just gonna take a sip, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. If you have questions, I'll do my best to answer as we talk. Hi! I'll do my best to answer as we talk. It's so fun. Yay, I'm so excited too. So it's evening here in Germany, and the German, I don't know why this is, and I knock on wood, but the German internet, the German Wi-Fi sometimes is the worst. And sometimes it will have a fun little glitch right when we need it most. So I don't know, but here we are. All right, we're here now. So if you come to this place of neutrality, self-acceptance, what happens then? It's kind of like you get into a state where you're coming back to a version of yourself that's almost like, sometimes I refer to it as like alien mode. You're coming back to a state of like purity and innocence, where you have no foregone conclusions. You have no determined expectations. You determine and you decide and you expect to get what you want. You expect to get what you want. It's a state of innocence. It's like a state of purity. And kind of like a little kid who simply doesn't know better and expects that, of course, they're going to be spoiled rotten on their birthday. Of course, they're going to be spoiled rotten on Christmas. Of course they are. It's just that, devil may care. My daughter, she's 9 years old now, but I remember I'm so grateful that we've been able to provide this incredible life for her. Sometimes my husband and I, because we didn't grow up like this, we didn't grow up with wealth like this. And my husband's a surgeon, and we just look at her, we're like, that must be so nice to be Stella. It must be so nice that that's just her default setting. And what a beautiful thing, right? And as women, as leaders, we're able to create this reality for our families, but for ourselves, we're all carrying some stories from somewhere that teach us that money might not be there for us. Teach us that we don't know if we can expect it. We don't know if we can rely on it. So that's why we got to be all spick and span and sparkly by doing the shadow work regularly, not being afraid of it. Like when I tell you that it feels like a spiritual orgasm and my clients call it the shablam, that's something that you can look forward to. This is something that you can look forward to doing, right? So when you're in that state of like neutral, spoiled, rotten expectation, what happens? Then you're taking every action, you're making every move, you're pulling the trigger on things, you're making decisions quicker, you're excited and delighted to be loud and visible and to stand out and to be seen and to share your prices publicly because you have no energetic charge around money other than money is awesome. You're visible. You're excited to send your invoices out. You're excited to pay your invoices because you're in total trust that it's all coming back around. It's all coming back around. So you're circulating money. It doesn't mean like, oh, this is such an important aspect of money shadow work too. Your own money energy being clean. You can't be stingy on the way that you pay your bills. You can't be stingy on the way that you invest in yourself because that shows you don't really believe or trust that money is coming back to you. So money is like a flow from the heart chakra. We give from overflow. We give our gifts. We give our skill set. We give our genius. We give our time. We give our love. We give our care. We send that out and then it comes back around to us and we receive on the feminine side love, recognition, gratitude, money. Hi, Christina. Hi, Cassie. We receive, right? So one side is the giving, one side is the receiving. If there's a block on either one of these sides, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're destroying that circulation of money. So when you're in that pristine, sparkly state of expecting that money is there for you, expecting that everything works out for you with money, then you pay your bills happily. You invest in yourself. You go make that call. You go make that decision. You don't say, okay, one day when I deserve it, then I'm going to get something nice, because you know that you deserve it right now. You always are deserving and you can always be in that state of trust. So I'm Canadian, but I live in Germany, and Karl Lagerfeld, we all know who Karl Lagerfeld is, right? Chanel's right-hand man before he passed away, rest in peace. This is so fun. Team Cassie, Crystal, I love this topic so much. So Karl Lagerfeld has an expression, and he says it in German, but I will say it in English. But he says, send the money out the door so that it can come back in the window. Or maybe it was the other way around, out the window and back in the door. But he knew that you have to circulate money. And let's just say Karl Lagerfeld, he's an icon. It's Karl fucking Lagerfeld, right? He's an icon. He has a villa that you can rent in Monaco for 14,000 euros a night. Like, people who have that kind of understanding of wealth understand that it truly is limitless, and limitless means limitless. So what you need to understand too is that you are a limitless being. Money is an energy. You are also made of energy. Love is energy. Time is energy. All of this is energy. And if these energies are infinite, why the hell should it be limited for you? That doesn't make sense. That's a choice. That's something that we believe. That's something that we pick up at some point, and that's what we've got to shed. Okay, so I have notes. So I just have to say as well, I am a human design expert too. And I'm just going to say this about myself. I have an open crown and an open third eye. I have lots of open centers, although I am an energetic manifesting generator. But with the open crown, open third eye, believe me, there is so much passion. But I'm a person who's got to take notes, because I could riff and go off track, and we could be here for 3 hours because I love this subject so much. So I'm going to refer to my notes. Okay. So I'm going to keep us on track. So shadow work with money matters, because we will never do something that we think will put us in danger. We will never, our primary instinct is to survive, right? So we will not do something if there's an unconscious attachment belief that that thing is going to put us in danger. So when it comes to shadow work with money, we have to explore and ask ourselves, in what ways is not having money keeping me safe? So, and we're talking about theory, and I'm also going to give you guys specific practices. And there's also a really juicy workbook that I know that Cassie's team has already put up into the group, a really juicy workbook for you to go through as well that is a game changer. So if there are beliefs around money that is going to endanger your marriage somehow, okay? If you're worried that it's going to disrupt the quality of life that you have with your kids, if it's going to rob the time that you have with your children and affect the kind of parent that you are if you have kids, if you worry that it's going to risk your physical health or your mental health, if you think that being visible with money puts a target on your back and will make people treat you differently, kick you out of the tribe, you're going to be kicked away from the campfire, nobody's going to want to sit with you anymore. If you have these beliefs with money, then you're naturally going to be cock-blocking yourself and keeping that money away from you because unconsciously you think that that money is harmful or that there's a limit to the amount of money that's safe, right? So, and I mean also integrity and impact. If there are any beliefs that wealthy people hurt people or wealthy people are assholes, you don't want to be an asshole unless you can tell yourself, I want to be an asshole. I am an asshole. If those beliefs line up, fantastic. But for most of us, that won't be true because we are all the heroes of our own story. So when you're the hero of your story, you can't see yourself as an asshole. You can't see yourself as an absent partner. You can't see yourself as a woman who's going to emasculate her man by out-earning him if he's going to have feelings about that. You can't see yourself as somebody who's gonna let your health fall apart and you're gonna like have a heart attack at a young age and like leave your children without a mother if you have kids, or leave your partner alone, or who, you know what I mean? Or do that to your family and be that tragic story. If you have those beliefs, you're gonna keep that money away, no matter how many programs, no matter how many funnels, no matter how many times you go live on Instagram, no matter how what, you're gonna keep it away from yourself. I'm so glad. I'm loving this. I love this too. I'm so glad I'm sharing this. We're just getting started, ladies. This is just the beginning, okay? So what I want to talk about as well is the fact that money is a wonderful thing. So I love money, and I think that we all do. If you're in Cassie's world, I'm willing to bet that you love money, you love wealth, and you know that money simply makes life excellent. And money itself is neutral. Catastrophizing, Christina says, catastrophizing, brutal rabbit hole. It's normal. You know what? You're a projector, aren't you, Christina? So, and I think I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, we love wealth. Yes, Team Cassie, we love wealth. So let's just accept that money is wonderful. Money itself is neutral. So you're a projector, Christina, you're a projector. So as a projector, you're like the bird sitting on the branch that you can see the direction that everything is going to go. You can see multiple possibilities. You can see multiple pathways. So what you need to do if you're feeling catastrophizing with money, what you need to do is like center yourself and focus on the timeline that you want to be true. Focus on the timeline, the reality, the embodiment, the personality, the lifestyle that you want to be true. Focus on that one thread and zero in on that and let that be your truth. Because as a projector, you can see you have that amazing, almost otherworldly perspective that you don't want to let it put you into a state of analysis paralysis and thinking bad things are going to happen before you've even made a move. So decide that you're going to focus on that timeline of the highest, best good for yourself, the collective, for everybody in your world. And that's the way that money is going to channel through you. Because money is fluid. We call it currency, right? Currency, water. Money is fluid. I like that as well because that also like speaks to the feminine nature of money. Money is expansive. Money can grow things, just like the feminine, right? So money is a current. Therefore, it takes the shape of the vessel that's holding it. So money is neutral. It will take the shape of the vessel that's holding it. So if you're a vessel that intends to do good, that loves to live well, that knows that when she is living a soft life, a comfortable life, a safe life, not just having her basic needs met, but living in overflow, then you know that you're a vessel that can then be shaped in such a way that you then pour that goodness out through your offerings, through your creativity. Like if a person is broke, there are so many people that think like, oh, well, if I'm rich, then people are going to look at me this way and they're going to think I'm greedy, or they're going to think that. If you have so much wealth and so much overflow, you can expand your impact on the collective in such incredible ways. You can self-publish your books, you can expand your team, you can employ people, you can create jobs for other people, you can reach more people, right? Like it takes the shape of the vessel that holds it. So as long as you trust yourself, and especially through this shadow work, you're becoming this pristine vessel, then money is going to constantly come to you, flow to you, stay with you, and flow out of you, through you, to go and do more good in the world. This is a wonderful thing. Money is a wonderful thing. It just is, right? So it's a currency of freedom. We don't just use it to meet our basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, safety, right? To be sheltered from the elements, to have food, to not die. Our primal brains, we're all about survival. We need that first layer first. And in this world, yes, we do need to have this currency, which is a means of exchange. I give this, you give me that, and vice versa, right? Basic. We need that. But then once we have those needs met, then we have the pleasure, the privilege, the ability to honor our dignity, to use that safe foundation that we've created by having our needs met. Then we now have this beautiful foundation that we can protect our dignity, that we can celebrate our worth. And from there, we can be creative. Now it moves up the body, right? Now we can be creative. Who am I? What do I think? What do I like? We can really know ourselves. And through knowing ourselves, we can then be in our highest service. So we can become proud of ourselves. We can explore our passions. We have the luxury of no longer needing just to have money to survive. Now we have the luxury of using money to learn and using money to experience. And then we take those things that we've learned, we take those things that we've experienced, and we share it with our tribe. We share it with the collective. We pour it back out into the collective. And then we can be self-actualized. We have enough to share and to spare. We can circulate. We can spoil people. We can treat people to things. Yes, pristine vessel. I'm so glad. Phenomenal bang on regarding the projector stuff. Yeah, Christina, you're welcome. I love human design and shadow work. I just love it. And money and community. So when we're self-actualized, we speak our minds. Now your stable foundation. You know your self-worth. You're creative. You're proud of yourself. You're circulating your wisdom. You're having experiences. You're sharing those experiences. Now you've gained so much wisdom. Now you're speaking your truth. You're speaking your truth into existence. You're speaking your mind. You know that you're safe to do so. You're confident. You're convicted. You're curious then. What else can I do? What else is possible? What else can I make? What else can I impact? Right? So with everything that I just said, yeah, it feels so good, doesn't it? I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Catherine. I've got a bit of a throat thing. My husband recommended whiskey for a sore throat, but I said I would wait until after this talk. So we're having sparkling water in the meantime. Okay, so what I've just described, Catherine says that it feels really good. What I've just described, how I've laid that out, it started with money, and it actually laid out the natural path of our lives. It all lines up with Maslow's pyramid of needs. I'm so glad, Catherine, yes. We have a Katrina, we have two Catherines. Hi, ladies. Catherine with a K and Catherine with a C. Hello, hello. It's wonderful. Anastasia, hello. Yay, I love this. Cool. One of my clients is here. Okay, so this is Maslow's pyramid of needs. That's why it feels so good. It makes sense. It feels good. It is logical. It's primal. It's fundamental. Hi, Anastasia. So Maslow's pyramid of needs coincidentally also happens to line up with the chakra model from root to crown. So I am a manifesting generator. I mentioned that before. She's a multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate person. I have many levels of skill and interest and mastery in different things. Different story, but my own healing, evolution, and success journey very much was sparked and nurtured by doing systematic chakra healing, okay? Right up until the point where the thyroid cancer was discovered, I was actually doing a throat chakra healing at that time when I randomly had an ultrasound on my throat and this thyroid cancer was discovered, and it was completely surgically removed. It was 2 tumors the size of 2 little blueberries. I consider that a miracle. And it's because I was doing chakra work at the time. If I hadn't been doing that, I would not have had that ultrasound because it was not visible in any way. And my doctors think it's extremely spooky that it was found. Now, I have to say, my husband is a cancer surgeon. My husband is a researcher. He worked at Harvard. He's a scientist. He is kind of a big deal in the realm of science and the academia here in Germany and internationally, actually. So I want you to know that when I'm talking about chakras and I'm talking about psychology and I'm talking about neuroscience, I want you to know that I am a woman who has had to sit at the dinner table with a bunch of German doctors and lawyers within my family here in Germany and stand my ground and hold my own. So please believe that I do so much research on this and I do so much testing on this myself, and I know the fuck what I'm talking about, okay? So Maslow's pyramid of needs lines up with the chakra model. The freebie that you have that is in this group will give you a rundown of doing a major wealth activation through every single chakra that my clients are obsessed with, and so am I. So yay, thank you so much. Yes, standing my ground. Thank you, Team Cassie, stand my ground. With my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and all my German family, and I can sit there talking about this stuff. I find studies to support what I do. We have to support it academically. We can't just have it fluffy in the ether. But I am also the living breathing proof. I'm the living, breathing proof of this. And I couldn't be more grateful. So, and I mean, at every layer of chakra that I was healing, I was hospitalized actually 3 times. And then the cancer in the thyroid was the worst one. I was hospitalized 3 times. And then I was very concerned. I'm like, okay, so when I do third eye and when I do crown, am I going to have like an aneurysm or something? But thank goodness that is not what happened. I believe it was a throat chakra block. As a Manny Gen, the throat center is paramount for me. And I think living in Germany, not being able to speak the language, communicate, I think that contributed. I'm so glad. That's inspiring in itself that you stand up for your beliefs. Thank you so much. Yes. I'm definitely a chatty Cathy, so I'm sure you can tell. It's not hard for me to stand up for myself now, but there was a time that it was a challenge. Okay, so money is alive. As I said, it's fluid, right? She's fluid. She's alive. So when we think of it this way, we think of it as a currency. We think of it as a currency that we live in. What else is a currency? Electric currents. Money is a current. Water is a current. These are all energies. What a lot of people have, I love to talk too. XO Crystal, yes. So when it's an energy, again, with my open centers, I need to look at my notes. People who have a defined crown and a defined third eye, they can like look at a talk once and they're like, I got it. My husband is like that. He doesn't have to refer to notes, but that is not my reality. So electricity, when you plug something in to the wall, are you like, oh no, there's not enough electricity? You plug it in and you expect that it's going to work. If you go stand in the ocean or go stand in a river, because I know that we all just go stand in rivers all of the time. But imagine if you went and stood in a river, be like, oh, I shouldn't stand in this river very long because the current will soon stop. If I stand here too long and I experience this current for too long, it will run out. That's not the case. I don't think it's a coincidence that money is also referred to as a currency. There is no limit to money. There is no limit to money. So if you think about this, money it's in overflow everywhere. Yes, if you need to take notes, Christina says, that's why I need to take notes, open head and ajna. Yes, so just accept it. Just accept it. If you have an open crown and ajna, you're probably a note taker, and that's fine. That's your process. This is not a talk about human design though, so I won't get too off track about that. But yeah, just own it, celebrate it. It's the way you are. It's beautiful. So Money's in overflow everywhere. Here's two ways that I like to think about this. If you think, so I'm sure that many of us have partners or family members who enjoy stocks, right? If you think, and it's Sunday right now. Do you know how many people are online shopping right now? Like so many people. If you think about the digital transactions that are flying around the planet right now, all around you, people are trading, people are buying, people are selling, people are doing this. There's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, euros, transferring around the money, around the world right now. If you could see those threads of money, it probably would block the sky. If we could see these transactions flying around like threads, I'm sure that it would block the sky. I'm sure there would be so many. So if you think about that, why is it such a big deal to imagine that some of those threads, lots of them, not just some, lots of them should be attached to you. Just receive some, just take some down and plug them in and be like, that's mine. That gets to come to me. That's mine. I want more. But when we haven't done the shadow work, it's like we're blocked. We're like, oh, I don't deserve it. No, I make so many mistakes with money. Or no, that one thing happened to my great Uncle Dave that one time. And, so money is bad. And so no, keep those money threads away from me. I don't want to have that. Fuck that. So the shadow work clears all of that away. And the way that I see it, it's also like, I imagine it's almost like a funnel or like, yeah, it's like, how am I seeing this? It's like a vortex, like a funnel that's like right to your heart that like sucks abundance into your heart, sucks the money into your heart. Because let's remember again, what is money? Money is an exchange of love, of gratitude, of respect, of integrity, of appreciation. You have something that I value, whether it's your time, your expertise, or you have a physical thing. I value it so much. Now, I am given money in exchange for my genius and my time. So I receive money. Money represents my time and my love. That's what I have. Now I want to give that to you in exchange for you, for your thing. Isn't that beautiful? That's a beautiful thing. That's all the exchange of money is. Susie says, dang, I just got on and I'm already loving this conversation. Currency, whoa, never thought of it like that. I can't wait to go back and watch this from the beginning. Yes, we're on a roll. I'm glad that you're here. Welcome, Susie. Yes. So it's a beautiful thing to exchange money. And even to think that that your phone bill comes, like your phone bill trusts you, your phone company trusts you that you're going to pay that bill. So when they send you that bill, they're sending you trust. When you receive a bill to pay, you're receiving trust. They're saying, we trust you. We think you're a trustworthy person. This bill is coming with trust. When you receive an invoice, it's a signal of trust and respect. There's so much energy moving right now. I'm like burping. So for anybody who does energy work or like shamanic work, you know that like shamanic burps are a thing. So I'm an energy worker too. This is really powerful. I'm so happy. Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing to exchange. So you're being sent an invoice of trust, and then you get to be like, wow, they trust me. How amazing. Now I get to pay for this service. I get to pay that I have light and warmth. I get to pay that I have water. I get to pay that I have the clothes that I want to wear. It's a beautiful thing. So let's keep in mind that that's what money is. It's love, it's freedom, it's purpose, it's joy, it's gratitude, it's respect, it's integrity, it's self-respect, right? That's what money is. And again, you're not gonna plug into it and it's gonna run out. That's not how it works. Okay? We're just getting started. This is like we're like warming up. I love that the theory and the concepts are landing. I love that you're feeling it. I want you to feel this in your body. There needs to be the mind-body connection for this to land. You need to feel good in your body, safe in your body, and then your brain needs to be like, and it makes sense. So I will do it. We will do it. Both of your genius centers, your body wisdom and your mind wisdom are going to work together to make this happen for you. Okay. So we're going to get into some of the shadow work practices now. Okay. And you can have the replay, watch this as many times as you want, take notes if you're here with us live now, whenever you're doing this. For these practices, you are going to want paper and a pen. Catherine with a C says, oh my God, I felt it in my stomach. Suddenly felt nervous and excited as I'm taking it in. That's really good. I like to hear that because the stomach, so stomach, sacral chakra, the lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, these are big ones. So sacral chakra, feminine energy, creativity, is blocked by feelings of guilt or shame, or a low self-worth. So feeling it in your stomach is like, wow, I'm feeling the shift of transformation. I'm feeling my identity can be one with money. Wow, I feel like I belong there. I belong with money. Money belongs with me. So that's the rumblings of really big change that's happening, Catherine. So I'm really happy to hear that. And everybody who's watching this, pay attention to where you feel it in your body, right? Pay attention to where you feel it in your body, because that will help you indicate as well, where is there work to be done? So like if you feel it in your throat, it might be like, oh, like I'm really nervous to speak about money, or like I'm nervous of how that feels. Anyways, I could, like I said, I could go on and on. So back to the notes. Okay. So at this point, what I would love for you to ask yourselves, why is he giving a thumbs down? Go away. Don't do that. Okay. Why is that? So as it comes, okay, so because money is neutral, because money takes the shape of the vessel that holds it, you are the vessel that is holding the money, right? Because money is neutral. The question, and because your unconscious mind and your superconscious will always protect you from anything that it thinks is going to put you in danger or put you at risk. So if there's a deep-seated belief that if you make too much money, your husband is going to be pissed off and it's going to emasculate him and it's going to mess with your marriage, or if you think, I got into this marriage because, or this partnership because I wanted financial stability and security. Okay, I can't talk with my hands. I've heard this before. If you are in a relationship where your partner has been making more money than you, fantastic, amazing, love it. If you make more money, there could be a part of you that worries, oh no, what if I have so much money that I don't need him anymore? And then I sabotage the relationship. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to stay broke, or I'm just going to not get past that threshold. I'm just going to stay like 10K months, or I'm going to stay there because I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm too free and then I leave my partner. I've heard that one as well. If you think that money is going to put a target on your back, then you're not going to do something that puts you outside of the tribe. So you're not going to do that. So you will not consciously, unconsciously put yourself into a situation that puts you at risk. So when money is the question at hand, if you're at a plateau, if you're having problems starting your business, if you're having problems sharing your prices, if you put your prices out there but then nobody wants to buy anything, this is what you want to ask yourself. What am I making this mean? What do I really believe about this? What am I assuming about money, about myself? So what are you assuming right now about money in general, money as a concept? Oh, Catherine says, I manifested this moment. I couldn't find info online regarding emasculating or sabotaging a marriage. Yes, it's interesting. So I'm a success mentor, and I'm a shadow work expert and human design expert, and I'm also really good at money stuff. And I'm 40 years old. I've been with my husband for 13 years. We have a 9-year-old daughter. I moved overseas to be with him. So I was making a lot of money when I lived in Canada when I was in my 20s. And then I gave it all up to move here to be with my husband. He is a surgeon. He's an incredible provider. And so I was a housewife who was not making any money at all for a long time. I didn't even have my own bank account here in Germany until 2020. So it was a really fascinating process to see what happened within our marriage as my business exploded and took off. Like the place that we live in, I love this penthouse. I love this place. This is possible because of my work. It's possible because of what I contribute to our household, that we can live here. And that was interesting that I got to have a say in where we live. And I'm like, I want that place and I'm going to pay for it. And that was interesting, you know, and the fact that I buy my own Louboutins, the fact that I can treat myself to stuff. So that really did cause some adjustments in our marriage. And it was very fascinating. So I lived through that. I personally lived through that, and I've seen it before. So I'm just going to say this really quick. The energy that men provide, a lot of men think that Mostly it's money, like they provide safety, security through money. So when it comes to having a healthy relationship with a masculine in your partnership, it's not about the money, it's letting them know all of the other things that they're providing you with. So it's not just the money. They're not just providing money. They're providing a sense of emotional safety in so many ways. They're providing, maybe they're an amazing cook. My husband is an amazing cook. There are so many things I don't have to think about because my husband takes care of it for me. So I am sure to always express to him verbally all of the things that I am so appreciative that he provides to me. That has nothing, and for our daughter, that has nothing to do with his status, that has nothing to do with his title, that has nothing to do with money, even though of course I love to be spoiled and he knows that and he totally does spoil me, but that's one thing. So think about providership and express to your partner all of the amazing ways that you feel so provided for outside of money, and then it's gonna take money off of the pedestal, that it's not the big hot topic issue in your marriage. That was just a little segue, okay? I love when people ask questions live. It's so good. Hello. Okay, so you're going to ask yourself, what are you assuming right now about money as a concept? What are you assuming about other people who have money? What are you assuming about yourself with money? So this is a really interesting one. So what do you assume? You're so welcome, Catherine. What do you assume about yourself with money? If it's like, well, when I got my first credit card when I was, 18, I bought that thing from that infomercial online and then I never paid back, and then I ended up paying 45 times the amount of that thing in interest, and it was the stupidest thing I ever did and it ruined my credit, so I assume that I'm bad with money, right? So it's these kind of things. Anastasia gives marriage advice. I love you, sweetie. I love you. So what are you assuming about money? What are you assuming about other people with money? What are you assuming about yourself with money? So you're going to take some notes on that. I'm giving you lots of practices here, so this is one you're going to want to probably replay. Now, imagine this. You're an alien. Stay with me. You're an alien. You got plopped down here. You're in this human skin suit, and you have no past, you have no experiences, and someone explains to you about this thing called money, and that it's a tool used for exchange of goods and services. It represents honor and love and respect, recognition, gratitude, right? So what would you assume if you're an alien in this beautiful human skin suit, completely innocent, completely intelligent, this pure being, right? What would you assume? You would assume that money is a good thing and money is a good thing to have. And you wouldn't have any reason to believe that it should be difficult for you to have or not have it. You would assume that you can have it. So then the next question, let me see. I make more money than mine and my family, but I have two beliefs. One, that I've hit a set point and I still feel like even though I earn way more than I ever have, my lifestyle has advanced along with it, so it still feels restricting. And two, it's difficult to maintain the current. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay, Catherine with a K. So the practices, I totally understand. Where you're at. I feel like this is what's coming through right now. I'm also a bit of a witch, you guys, if you haven't noticed. I believe that you're possibly creating more expenses in tandem with the increase of your income, because you might not know, you might not have a fully formed picture of what that identity or lifestyle, personality, version of you is when you're living in like excessive overflow. So you create more money, create more income, but then create more outgoing, so that actually it's kind of staying the same. And then it might be feeling like burning out. And of course, I don't know your human design, but that would be something. So the practices that we're going to talk about are going to help you so much to get to the bottom of that. Of course, I don't know because I don't know you, but I love that we're here together. And yay, Christina. Yes, it is fun. Okay. So alien mode. All right. Remember, you're an alien now. Next questions that you ask yourself about money. Yes, Catherine, here for it. So next questions to ask yourself about money. Love these questions. And I want this to stay in your vocabulary. You're a manifestor. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So next question, a question that I want you guys to keep in your vocabulary always, not just about money, but everything. What else could be true? What else could be true? Because when we're making assumptions, my grandma has an expression, she's Canadian. My grandma has an expression, and I know she didn't make it up. When we make an assumptions, we make an ass out of me and you, because those words are all found in the word assumption. So previously, you were assuming things about money. So now you're going humble and you're going alien mode, and you're going to ask yourself, what else could be true? I know what I'm assuming, but what else could be true? What else could be true about money? What else could be true about me with money? What else could be true about money in general? What else could be true about other people with money? So like where I live in Germany, I live in a very nice area, and that's a blessing, and I'm so grateful. And I'm not even kidding you guys. The guy who lives next door to us is like a real life Willy Wonka. And I'm not kidding, like family owned a chocolate factory or like some big chocolate manufacturer here in Germany. And he's got this massive gated estate, and we never see them, can't see anything. It's a huge gated estate next to us. But one time I saw the guy and his dog, and I just remember being so curious, and I'm like, what are they like, right? And I realized it's just a regular guy in regular clothes, a nice old man walking his very nice looking dog. But I realized, I'm like, I had made all kinds of assumptions, because all I had heard was like stories from other neighbors about that family who owns that estate, this like historical estate in Germany. So what else could be true? You're going to ask yourself this. What else could be true? I was taught that too. When we assume, we make an ass out of you and me. Exactly. Thank you, Michelle. Yes. So no more assuming. You're going to ask yourself, what else could be true? And this works with everything. This works with men. This works with kids. This works with strangers. It works with just about anything, even your physical health. You can ask, what else could be true? When you're doing that, you're accessing your superconscious. Don't forget, your brain is huge, fucking huge. Your brain is huge. And we're only using like 2 to 5 to 8% of it. I don't know, probably not that much. So when you ask the question, what else could be true? Now you're asking your superconscious to pull down more information for you from some fucking place. What else could be true? It's a question that can be associated with 5D. It's a question that can be associated with higher consciousness, and it will loosen things up so much for you. So what else do you want to be true? Ask yourself those questions. What else could be true? What do I want to be true? What do I want to believe to be true about me, about myself, about money, about me with money, about other people and how they respond to money? What do I want to be true? So with those initial beliefs you have, those assumptions are serving you in some way. Because shadow work, again, it's about honesty with yourself, and it's about unearthing the ways that you're protecting yourself. So we're going to prove that you don't need to be protected from money. That's what we're doing. And then it's just opening those channels for you to receive it and to create the pathways to receive it. Honesty with yourself. What have you been assuming? Okay? How are these beliefs serving you? Those first beliefs, those assumptions, how have they been serving you? We need to have curiosity. We need to have bravery. We need to have self-acceptance and unconditional self-love while taking responsibility. This is what gets us into that neutrality where we're owning all of it. And I call it sometimes the yeah so mentality. Like, what if somebody came up to me and they're like, I don't like your hair, da 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 da, something. I don't know. I'd be like, they'd be like, your hair is so long and blonde. And if they said it in like a derogatory way, I'd be like, so? Like, that would have zero impact. I'm like, and that kind of neutrality, the yeah so kind of neutrality, that's the way that I want you to feel with, hi Kristen, that's the way that I want you to feel with any money vibe situation. I want you to be in the state of like, yes so, like yes and. Because when you're responsible and you're owning all of it, nothing and no one can come and hurt you. Nothing and no one can come and cause you shame. And shame lives in the stomach. Shame lives in the sacral. And it blocks creativity. It blocks the flow. And if that's blocked, then the circulation and the heart chakra, that's also blocked, right? So you want to get into that state of yeah, so neutrality with it. So we have to take responsibility for the fact that all of our thoughts and all of our beliefs are serving us somehow. When we own that, We take the power back from that boogeyman who's been in the closet. And then instead of saying, why is it so hard? Why not me? Why am I not making that kind of money? We instead ask, we let those thoughts go, and we say, what are those beliefs that I've been having? What have they been letting me be, do, and have? And what have those beliefs been letting me not do, not be, not have? What are they protecting me from? Interesting, right? So for example, you want to be a millionaire. You want to have, Christina says, unearth. Yes, I channeled the word excavating a while ago. Past life imprints on money. I was a princess with beautiful clothes, lots of money, persecuted for it. I was also so poor that I was begging for food on the street in another lifetime. It freed me once I realized my shadow work involved most lifetime money imprints. Yes. So you know the duality, you know the extremes, Christina. That makes sense. So for example, how are beliefs about money? If you want to make, 10K months, 5K months, 20K months, $500,000 months, $1 million months, whatever it is that you want to have and create and be available for and receive. If I can't make money, I am protecting myself from blank. If I don't have X dollars, I am protected from blank. What is it letting you not have to do or not have to be? Or what do you get to remain as? So for example, if I don't make this kind of money, if I don't receive this kind of money, then I'm protected from having to figure out the smartest way to do my taxes and have conversations with accountants and finance people. If I don't expand, I don't have to deal with any kind of confrontation like that. So I don't have to be responsible in that way. It's protecting me from that, right? So what is the belief protecting you from? There's a secondary benefit. That's shadow work. What is the secondary benefit? There's something that you don't like. There's something that you want to get past, but actually there's something that thing is giving you. So even like victim mindset. So like I used to have a lot, I still do, I'll be honest. Sometimes I do here living in Germany. You're so welcome. Mind blown. Thank you. Catherine, you're welcome. And I know I'm going to be going over time a little bit, but we're getting to the end. I used to have a lot of victim mindset around just being here in Germany. Guess what? German is hard. It's a hard language to learn, and didn't have any family, didn't have any friends. My baby, having my daughter here, and my husband works like 16 hours a day. And it was really hard just to live a normal life. And I used to use that as a way to introduce myself. I call it introducing ourselves wounds first, where it's like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and these are the ways that I suffer. And that's actually what's the most interesting thing about me and why I'm special. So think about that. It's important to let people know who we are and how we are and what's happened to us. And it's important to own our reality and who we are. But we don't want to introduce ourselves wounds first and then use that victim identity as a reason that we should or get to stay small. So we take full responsibility for all of that, right? So in my story, that just meant that I went to German lessons and learned how to speak German. Life got a lot better. Okay? So to have everything, we, in a way, want to become nothing. Because nothing is equal to infinity. So again, if money becomes the shape of the vessel that holds it, if you can become empty, that means you have space for limitless receivership. I'm so glad. You're welcome, Michelle. What a great way to start the day, Michelle says. You're so welcome, Michelle. I love this conversation so much. Yes, and I know, Team Cassie, for making this happen. This is the best summit ever. Of course it is. It's a Cassie thing. Of course it is. So when we become nothing, we become available to hold the infinite. And I'm just going to say as well, I am not perfect. Shock. I am not perfect. So I'm not sitting here I don't know, a genie in a lamp, but I'm saying I know these principles and I love to teach these principles. So to receive everything, we want to become nothing. We want to become empty. And in this way, by doing the cleansing with shadow work, we empty the vessel, we clear it out so that we liberate our ego. We break up with previous identities and versions of ourselves. which takes courage, because every version that you've ever been has gotten you to where you are this very moment. And that's a wonderful thing. So it takes courage to decide that you're gonna let that version of you go and you're gonna go into the unknown. That takes a lot of courage, but it's worth it. It's worth it, and you're gonna be fine, okay? So, okay, a little sip of water. Okay, so with money, what do you get to not experience because you don't have the money that you think you want? And I want you to really dig deep. So what do I get to not experience because I don't have the money that I think I want? Dig deep. What would you have to organize? What would you have to change in the back end? What kind of paperwork would you have to do? What kind of systems, processes? What kind of government bodies would you have to talk to? Like, we're talking big CEO shit, right? We're talking big boss lady shit. Like, you can't be the one who's walking into the boardroom being like, I own 100% of this company without doing this stuff. So what would happen with your family members? Would people judge you? Would they talk about you behind your back? Would they come and borrow money from you? Would people talk about you online and say mean things about you? Would you feel like you have this big reputation all of a sudden and then you're like collapsing under the pressure of keeping it going? So think about all of these things. Would you feel obligated to pay back debts? So if you have credit card debt, if you have mortgage, if you have line of credit, if you owe people money, whatever. So if you receive a whole bunch of money, if you receive a whole bunch of money, and you're like, well then, but if I get this money, then I just have to give it away immediately because I have to pay back all of that money. So I'd rather just not get it because it's not fun for me to get it, right? I've heard that one before too. And if that's the case, all I'm gonna say is you just have to remember that money is limitless. You will have all of the money to repay all of the things, and the money will just keep coming. It's like you're plugging into the current, the money will keep coming, right? So all of these things, when you dig deep, what do you get to not experience because you don't have the money that you want? You're gonna dig deep. I'd like you to write this all down and be with us. Catherine says, close friends already started talking shit about my mini glow up and increased finances, trying not to take it personal. Don't take it personal. Extend compassion to them. Change is uncomfortable. Evolution is uncomfortable. And your change and your evolution is uncomfortable for them. And one of the reasons why is because when somebody breaks out and does something different, then it makes the other people in that group think, well, shit, should I be doing something too? Like it. So don't take it personal. It's a compliment in a way. Extend compassion to them. And if you feel like you need to talk to them, just be like, I feel like the vibe is a little bit different and I wondered if we could talk about that. And you could clear the air if you wanted to. That could be really powerful. And if not, I would really recommend like cord cutting and just sending them so much love. Send them so much love. Focus on the good characteristics. Yeah, but it happens. My friend group changed a lot as well when my business blew up. It changed a lot, and that's okay. Because you know what? You're going to keep making new friends and new connections, people who totally get it. And those other friends, they have autonomy. We all have free will. They have autonomy. You know, as long as you act with integrity, they're on their life path. But I understand, and I'm sure many, many women in this container can relate to that, Catherine. Okay, so everything that you wrote down, you're going to look at all of these things. And then before you rush on to the next step, I want you to take a minute to be with the feelings. Like, let's not, I know that I'm like a mentor, but also part-time comedian, and we're having a lot of fun. Like I say, shadow work made chic, but let's not bypass the very real feelings of fear, confusion, that can come up with these responsibilities, these big money things. The loneliness, the judgment, the confusion, the feeling like an idiot, like going into the tax office and being like, I don't know any of this. Like it's uncomfortable. So I want you to take a minute to be with the feelings, to acknowledge them. I want you to imagine that there is a little person with you, and it is your 5 or 6 year old self, maybe 7-year-old self. And I want you to really close your eyes and really let her materialize with you as you're looking at the list of those things that you wouldn't have to experience if you don't have money. Because there's a good chance that that little version of you, and even maybe teenage you, but she's really scared. She might be scared. She might be confused. She might be stubborn. She might be like, I don't want it to change. I love life the way that it is. I don't want things to change. So let that little child version of you come up and ask her how she's feeling. Tap into it. Ask her, why does it feel a certain way to her? And you can tell her she's allowed to feel like that. Tell her that you understand. And reach your arms out and ask if she wants to come with you. Ask if she wants to come into your arms, come into your lap, and then really imagine the feeling of like her warm little body. And this is your child self, her warm little body just melting into you. And if she's crying, you can rock her, you can stroke her hair, and you can just tell her, tell her whatever you instinctively know she needs to hear until she feels calmed. And then ask her if she wants to come with you and tell her, you know what? This is how old I am now. This is how old we are. And we've done this and this and this, and we can figure things out. And would you like to come with me if I promise you that we're going to figure this out together and it's going to be okay? Are you willing to have that adventure with me? And I promise you that I'm going to keep you safe. And then this little child self of you, hopefully she'll say yes, and just feel her kind of melt into you. Because there can be this little inner child who's like kicking and screaming, doesn't want change, and is like legitimately really afraid of those things. And I'm gonna bring you more practices here today that are gonna help you with, as Christina said, with the excavation. Okay. Okay, so then after that practice, you're gonna take some deep breaths. You're gonna process that. And now, looking at the list of those challenges again, you can either say out loud in your head for every single one. You can look at it, whatever those beliefs, whatever those challenges, whatever those assumptions, whatever those hard things that you don't have to do because you don't have money, you don't have that money. You're gonna look at every single one and you're gonna say, I don't know yet, but I am in control and I trust that I can find the information. I can talk to somebody who knows. I can find this out. For every single one. Don't just do it in general. I want you to say it for every single one. And if you want to, you can do some body work, you can do some tapping, you can do some anchoring as you read that to really feel, or like move yourself intuitively, however you want to move yourself and really feel that embodiment of like, I can, like, I don't yet, but I trust that I can. And then think about the first time you did other scary things. So the first time, like when you got your driver's license, you did your driver's test, or the first time that you moved out on your own, or the first time that you traveled to a new country and you didn't speak the language, or childbirth, or a scary surgery, or, you've done lots of things that were scary, weird, and different. And you either got through it on the first try or you did it messy, but either way you did it and you're still here. And I bet that a lot of those things are super easy and you wouldn't even have to think twice about it now. I could say so many examples, but I'm gonna try to keep us on track now. Okay, so it's just not a big deal. It's just stuff that you haven't done yet, but you can. So I'm gonna share, now I'm gonna get into some more of the meat here of this conversation, amazing conversation, but now I'm going to give you the homework for you to do. So this practice I'm about to share with you, I'm going to share two more practices with you. These are writing practices. And what I'm going to share with you right now, the first time that I did this, it was in 2021. I was established in my business. I had like 14 private clients. I was running my first group program. I did have a powerful one-on-one mentor with me, but I was just capped. I couldn't seem to break past this fucking plateau. I couldn't seem to make more money. I was overgiving. I thought that I had to like do more and prove more. And I'm not good enough yet. And like these kind of things, these kind of voices were coming up. And then this process came through intuitively and I did it. And I will just tell you, after I did this practice, I tripled my prices without a second thought. And I told my husband when he came home from work, and I was so proud, I felt so good. I'm like, I know what to do. I'm like, I tripled my prices. I announced it everywhere, da-da-da. And I just remember his face being like, like he wanted to be supportive, but he was also like, okay, so I guess we have to plan on you not making that much money for a while because I don't know how people are going to take that, just tripling your prices. But I didn't feel shook at all. I was like, I don't care if you're cool with it or not. Like, I know that this is the right thing because of the practice I'm about to share with you. You know what? I sold out every single one-on-one space, and I had people booked in advance for months, and I had painful clients too. And it was right. The point is, I'm not saying that you need to go triple your prices, but I'm telling you that this practice is going to reveal to you exactly what you need to do next, whatever that is for you in your life, in your business, when it comes to money. Okay? You're ready for it. I know you are. You're like, tell us, Krista. Okay. So I have an expression, generosity. I have two catchphrases. The first is good things happen when wise women have money. The second is generosity is the hot twin sister of wealth. That has a ring to it, does it not? So first, with this practice, I want you to first get into the feeling of overflow. Not just for you. First of all, I want you to get into the feeling of overflow for everybody. Because when we're talking about limitless money, and we're talking about it being like a current, like you're stepping into a river and the river doesn't stop, or you plug in an electronic device and that thing just keeps going. Money is a current too. So therefore, there's more than enough for you. There's more than enough for everybody else. You having plenty and more doesn't affect others having plenty and more. So what you can wish for yourself, you can wish for others. So first, imagine, like close your eyes or you can write about it. Think about the people that you love most receiving like hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. Just imagine that. Getting the phone calls, the text messages. Oh my God, guess what? I won the lottery. Oh my God, guess what? Da, 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 da. And celebrating with them. And imagine that. Easy to do, probably. Then imagine that happening to people that you know, kind of, but like you don't really know them. You know them, but you're like indifferent to them. So like somebody your kid goes to school with, or like I don't know, like somebody that you drive past sometimes, or like you're aware of them, but you don't know them. Imagine that happening to them and imagine celebrating that. Then imagine that happening to somebody that you don't particularly like. Can you still hold that frequency of celebration of somebody else having overflow, even if it's somebody that you don't really like? Because that is a huge sign of trust that you know there is more than enough for you to share and to spare, for them to have, for you to have, right? So get into that energy. Generosity is the hot twin sister of wealth. So you want to be wealth, you want to embody wealth. That means also that you can hold the frequency of wealth for others, okay? Overflow is overflow. All right, so now you're going to do a practice that's going to feel really good. And I want you to have for this, and there are many versions of a practice like this, perhaps. So I want you to have a piece of paper, pen. I prefer pen and paper writing. I want you to be able to burn something safely. Great if you can be alone. Like if your family is not home, this is not something to be rushed. So paper, pen, something to burn, a mirror to look into, if possible. That's really helpful. And I would say at least an hour and a half. Okay? And when you know, don't give me that, it's going to take so long, shadow work takes so long. Don't give me that. If you put an hour and a half into this and then you smash through a plateau that's been driving you bananas for like a long time, it's going to be the best hour and a half that you've ever spent on yourself. Okay? So make time for it. Yeah? All right. So pen and paper. All right. It's going to be basically a money ho'oponopono. You may be familiar with the ho'oponopono practice, ancient Hawaiian forgiveness ritual, ancient Hawaiian forgiveness practice. You're going to personify money. This is the twist. My throat is going again. 1 second. This is the twist. Okay? You're going to personify money. So this practice, it's going to be between you and money. So you're going to write down, I want you to think 3 to 5 to 10, depending how much time you have. You can do this practice again, do it as many times as you want, but at least 3, I would say at least 3 to 5, because I want you to really dig deep. I want you to really feel this. You're going to think about a situation that happened with money that felt not great. Maybe it was something shameful. Maybe it was something embarrassing. Maybe it was something painful. Maybe it was something like a betrayal. Maybe it was something like a lack of trust or disrespect. Maybe somebody took advantage of you. Maybe you made a frivolous, stupid money mistake and you feel embarrassed about it. Could be anything. So any money-related situations, okay? You're gonna feel into it and you're gonna briefly jot down that situation. Like, how old were you? What happened? Like 1 to 2 sentences max, because you're not gonna dwell in this too much. You're just gonna write down what happened. Then you're going to write down the feelings that you had in that moment and that you might still have about it. Like, I felt embarrassed, I felt humiliated, I felt betrayed, I felt furious, I felt stupid, whatever. Write how you felt about it. And then express your sorrow, express your regret, and apologize. Extend your apology to yourself. So your name, like dear your name, okay? Like, dear Krista, I'm so sorry that I put you in that position and that I made it mean this, that I made it mean this about you. Dear money. So you're gonna do to yourself and to money. Why are you sorry? Dear money, I'm sorry that I disrespected you. I'm sorry that I didn't honor and value and cherish you enough. I'm sorry that I didn't trust you enough. I'm sorry that I made this mean that I can never trust you again. Okay, so express your sorrow and your regret. And then you're going to ask for forgiveness. So dear your name, dear Krista, dear Michelle, dear Catherine, dear Christina, I'm sorry, right, for this and that. Please forgive me. Forgive me that this became a thing. Forgive me that this is something that stayed with me for so long. Dear money, please forgive me that I put this on you when really you're just neutral and you're something that's wonderful that I want more of. I'm sorry that I made this assumption about you. So ask for forgiveness for yourself. Ask yourself for forgiveness. Ask money for forgiveness. And then you're going to express gratitude and you're going to say, thank you. Thank you, your first name. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you that you chose to do this work. Thank you that even though that happened, you kept persevering and you kept going. Dear money, thank you that even though I had that experience with you before, you continued to show up for me and you actually continue to come into my life through so many different ways. Thank you. And then you're going to say, I love you. You're going to say, I love you, your first name. I love you so much. I am so proud of you. Money, I love you. I love what you make possible for my life. I love that we can have a beautiful relationship. And that's the process that you're going to do for every single situation that you can think of with money. Like I said, between 3 to 5, the more the better. You can do this several days in a row if you want to. And then after that, that's not all. Okay. After that, you've done a lot of writing, your hand is hurting, okay? You're gonna be feeling things. So like when I have done this sometimes, one time I actually barfed. So there was so much that got dragged up from my gut that I actually barfed. And I was like, wow. So you might have an upset stomach. You might have a loss of appetite. You might feel extraordinarily tired. You might feel really emotional. But whatever happens with your body, let it happen, because emotions are energy in motion. Let it move, okay? Because you've got plenty of time to lock in and take action and get back into that momentum soon. This is a gift that you're giving yourself, okay? So you're doing this writing, you're spending this time, you wrote down your situations in the framework that I just shared, and then after that, you're gonna go to a mirror and you're gonna read it all out loud to yourself in the mirror. And I want you to take your time and I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the feelings. I want you to feel the forgiveness. I want you to feel the responsibility. I want you to feel the acceptance. I want you to feel the love. And after that, you're going to take all of those. I'm sweating so much. Best homework ever, Christina. Yes, I know. I'm so activated. I love this so much. And I'm so grateful to Cassie for making this summit happen, because this is what I would shout from the fucking rooftops of the world forever. This is the hill I will live and die on. And I love that because Cassie created this summit for all of us, that I get to share this with all of you. This is going to change your life, and I'm so happy. Okay, so after that, you've written it all down. You're sweating, maybe like me. You're going to go in front of the mirror and you're going to read it to yourself in front of the mirror. You're going to feel it all. Then you're going to go burn it safely. Safely, okay? That's on you. What if you struggle with forgiveness? I tried cleansing and releasing, but I struggle to forgive. If you struggle to forgive, then I would go back to one of the previous steps that we talked about in here and ask yourself, what do I gain by not forgiving? What do I get to be? What do I get to have? Who do I get to be? What do I get to not do because I'm not forgiving? And take your time, because this is big. If there's a big one you're struggling to forgive, something big, perhaps. And then there's an identity that doesn't feel safe necessarily to let go of that piece. And what I want you to know is that you have agency. So no matter whatever happens on the other side of that, if you choose to forgive, forgiveness is a choice. Now remember that forgiveness releases, it's not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free. Hi, Samya. Hello. Forgiveness, Catherine, is about, it's not about the other person. It's not for them. The forgiveness is for you. You can forgive and you don't ever have to do something with that other party ever again. You can choose to forgive for you. Something that has helped me to forgive really unforgivable things before is this concept of soul contracts. And I ask myself, so this is again a form of curiosity and responsibility, where I ask myself, if I came here to be the best version of myself who's of highest service, why would I choose to experience this kind of suffering or this kind of whatever? And I had this concept of soul contracts. Like, I chose to play this part, and this other person or this other situation became the villain that my character was developed against so that I could be who I am now. Because that is sometimes a part of the human experience. The struggle does shape and create us. Like a samurai sword that's getting pounded in the fire, right? Those are the very best swords. Sometimes in our soul contracts, we are getting hammered against the anvil with suffering, but it's because it's making us into this most refined version of us. I'm not glorifying or glamorizing or saying that we have to suffer in any way, because I don't know what has happened, but that did help me a lot when I thought of soul contracts, that I was able to express actually gratitude to the villain and say, thank you for being the villain, because I love myself. So I hope that you can love yourself so much that you say, thank you, villain, for choosing to be that or being that for me, so that I could be this woman that I am, because I love myself unconditionally. So yeah, those are some thoughts on forgiveness. Thank you for asking that question, Catherine. So I'm sure that that's going to serve many people. Christina says soul contracts. Yes, we speak the same language. Yes. So you're going to read it to yourself. Okay, back to the burning practice, back to the writing practice. I've just described, so if you're catching the replay or if you're just popping in now, so I've just described a writing practice where you're going to forgive yourself and money. You're going to bring it up and you're going to forgive it. You're going to own it. You're going to harvest the lessons. You're going to let it go. You're going to end it with love. Okay? You're going to read it to yourself. You're going to burn it. Whatever you feel, however it burns, let it be. Sometimes the paper will just explode and it will just burn. I've heard that if it burns fast, it means that it was like needed to go right now. And I've heard that if things burn slower, it can mean that there's a part of you that is still struggling kind of to release it. But that's okay. Just be gentle with yourself. This doesn't have to be perfect the first time. This is not a one and done practice. This is something that I want you guys to do, or you ladies to do, everybody, whoever's watching. I want you all to make this a part of your habit. I want you to do this at least a few times a year, preferably every 6 weeks. But trust yourself, you're gonna know when. So don't make it perfect. And if you're like, oh, Krista, I didn't get this big spiritual orgasm, I didn't get this big shablam, don't judge yourself. Just be gentle with yourself, be curious, and do it again anytime that you feel like it. There's no right or wrong way that it's supposed to feel. I just like giving you examples of how it can be. Okay, so we're not done yet. We're not just gonna leave it there, because what you have done now is you have created a void. You have now created a vacuum. And that cannot be. You've now created this huge empty space. So you're gonna, before you just go back out into the world, now you're gonna fill that space up intentionally with everything that you want. So you're gonna sit down, you burnt it all, okay? You're gonna go back and sit down at your desk, and you got mascara running down your face, and you're like, and your stomach hurts, and you're feeling all of the feelings, and you're feeling the emotions. So you're gonna take your phone or some music device, put your phone, put on a playlist that you like, put it on random if you want, and see what comes up. Sometimes that's fun and curious to see what song comes up, but put on a playlist that you like, put it on random, put on a song, put your phone on a timer for 3 to 5 minutes, and then for 3 to 5 minutes, whatever you feel like at this point, I want you to just write down at the top of the page, I am now available for. That's what you put at the top. And then for 3 to 5 minutes, how long ever you do your timer, you're just gonna not even take your hand off of the paper, and you're just gonna like, I am now available for beautiful, painful clients who love to pay me like this. I'm available for dream clients like that. I'm available to be treated like this by the love of my life, by my romantic partners. I'm available to have relationships like this with my family. I'm available to have traveling experiences like this. I'm available for investments like this. I'm available for radiant physical health like this. And you're gonna fill this page up, and you're just gonna feel so good, and you're gonna hang on to that. You're gonna hang on to that paper. Okay, so that's how you're gonna close that first shadow work practice. You're gonna end it. Can you see why we call it the shablam? Can you see why we call it like a spiritual orgasm? Because you're finishing it, like you've emptied out so much, and now you're choosing, I am now available for. And then that becomes like, that's like your mission statement. That's your standard. That's what you're available for. You're not available for anything else. Can you feel the power of that declaration? How amazing. And now you're making this decision. And as I said earlier in this talk, now there's a union between your body wisdom. Now your body is on board because we activated your body, and your mind is on board too because you wrote it with your hand. You watched yourself do it, and you're like, those are my thoughts. That's what I want. That's what I'm available for. And therefore, anything else that does not line up with those standards, it's no longer going to register. It's going to be below your radar, right? So that one is my favorite. It's my favorite. And I want you to do this a few times a year. Okay, but there's one more, because I'm not coming to this amazing summit, and I'm not giving you just the tip. I wanted to give you more, okay? So another practice I want you to think about is, I call it money blood. Stay with me. I call it money blood. So we've talked about what is money protecting you from, or what is not having money protecting you from. What do you get to not do? What do you get to not experience by not having a certain amount of money? What's the secondary benefit, right? So here's the thing. Humans are mostly water. I believe 86% water. I'm sure that statistic varies depending on who you ask and what you Google and how much water a person drank. I don't know. But humans are made essentially of water. Water carries memory. There are a lot of experiments that support this supposition, this hypothesis that water carries memory. For example, there's an experiment, I forget the names, so I apologize, but you can look it up, where people dip a flower quickly, poop, poop, into water, and then flash freeze it with liquid nitrogen. And the crystals of the ice in that water take the shape of the flower that was in there for a second, right? Or maybe it's something like this. And then also the experiments where when they yell at a glass of water and they say hateful things to it, or if they say lovely, kind things to it, the difference of the way that those water molecules appear under a microscope. The ones that have been said hateful things to it they're really fragmented, they're really gnarly, right? And then the ones that have been told words of love and gratitude and thanks and things, these water crystals are like so beautiful and so symmetrical and gorgeous. So we are made of water, and water carries memory. So what if you were carrying memories of money pains or money traumas, money hardships? What if you were carrying, or assumptions? What if you were carrying these from previous generations? What if 10 generations back, you were carrying some of the assumptions, some of the ways that you needed to be protected? What if you were carrying that from 10 generations ago? So the money blood practice, very interesting. This was very profound for me as well the first time that I did it. But I want you to go back as far as you can, talk to people if you have to, if there are family members that you can speak to, if there are things that you don't know and you want to fill in the blanks. Go back 10 generations on your mom's side and your dad's side. Yes, this is a project, so I kind of want you to make like a little family tree. And I want you to go back as far as you can, and I want you to ask yourself or find out, what were their experiences with money? Not just on the mother's side, but also on your father's side. So when you think about going back 10 generations, think about this. There are plenty of wars in the world. Like, I'm speaking to you from Germany. So, and I am German actually, German and English and Scottish. But now I live in Germany and I'm married to a German. So my parents-in-law here in Germany, they're older, and they were alive in the Second World War. So that's in their blood, right? That feeling of lack, the feeling of fear. So if you think about this in your own family tree, what were the different things that your family went through? Did they immigrate at some point? Were there wars at different points in history? Were they wealthy or were they poor? Because sometimes being wealthy, even if you had wealth, that put a target on your back, and it meant that people were going to come and take your wealth from you, and you had to hide the wealth, and the wealth became something shameful, or people were going to rip you off. So like, you would have to transfer your money from gold into assets like horses and, I don't know, farm equipment. I don't fucking know. But like, you wouldn't be able to hold cash. You would have to either hide it under the floorboards or bury it, or transfer that cash into material objects that were more difficult for people to steal. So you couldn't have cash, you couldn't have money. You could have stuff, but you couldn't have money. So that's why a lot of people become shopaholics with money, because they think it's safer to transfer that money into a thing that I can see and touch and put in my pocket than just this ethereal concept of money. Catherine says, I have max 4 generations, and every single generation had money trauma or addictions and scarcity and lack. So hello, here we are, right? And so go back as many generations as you can on the mother side and on the father side, and then see if there are consistent patterns, see if there are different patterns, right? Anastasia says, yes, this is such a powerful practice. The last time I did it, I uncovered some hidden beliefs that I'd overlooked when I did the same practice a few months before. Exactly. This is why we do it frequently. Goes to show that we need to keep doing the practices. Love a good Krista money practice. I'm so happy, Anastasia. So how do you release this from your DNA? This is a beautiful thing. How to release this from your DNA. This comes to the point, this is how I like to do it. I like to look at the data, because this is the other thing too. If somebody had wealth, but then they were very, very sick, so they worked themselves to death, they had a heart attack. Or if there was a woman and she became very wealthy, but then she was working so much that her husband was neglected, and so he cheated on her, and then he divorced her, and he took half of her money with, things like this. So when you're looking at this money blood practice, I want you to look at the max and the minimum. Like, what was the maximum amount of money that somebody had where you could say that they were living well? And just see if there are any positive examples that you're like, yes, I would like to have that lifestyle. Or is it consistently people like they just had just enough, they always just had enough, and like if they ever got more, then something bad would happen, then they would get laid off, or somebody would get sick, or somebody would rip them off, or they would make a bad investment or something like that. So you're going to look for the money maximum, and you're going to look for the money minimum, and then you're going to look to see how does that line up with patterns of your own life. So now this is This is like a heart practice because you are connecting kind of with your bloodline, with your ancestors in a way, but it's also a logical practice because then you're going to look at this data. You're going to look at this data and you're going to say, who am I? So Oksana, when you say how to release this from your DNA, so you're going to say, who am I now? And then you're going to write down, I am so-and-so. Write your name. I am this. And I am so grateful. So you're going to extend gratitude to all of those people in your bloodline. I am so grateful that all of you existed and all of you were so that I could be here now. And I'm declaring here and now that I am the one who is safe, healthy. Like, look at what the problems were that have created these ideas in your head, right? If it was sickness, if it was being attacked, if it was being humiliated, if it was being betrayed, being scammed by people, right? Whatever the wound stories are, you're gonna say, you know, to my ancestors, I'm sorry that that happened to you. I'm grateful that you existed and that I'm here now. And I declare here and now that my name is this, and I am the one who is free from this story. And then you're gonna write down the opposite of those wounds. So you're not gonna say, I am not going to be scammed. You're going to say, I am always with people who are in the highest integrity with money. So you're gonna not write down the wound, you're gonna write down the opposite of that in the form of I am statements. And then you're gonna keep those I am statements where you see it. And you're gonna write down, I am willing to be the one who exceeds everything that has come before me. I declare here and now. So you're gonna make this declaration and you're gonna write these I am statements of how you're experiencing the opposite of what the previous wound stories were from your bloodline. And then you're gonna get rid of that, burn that paper, but you're gonna keep the I am statements in another place. And then I would like you to keep that piece of paper. So you're gonna have two that you're keeping now. The first is from the Ho'oponopono practice, where you said, I am now available for, and you did the writing. You're gonna keep that one. And then you're gonna keep the second one. I am, you know, so-and-so. I am Oksana Irvin, and I am available for exceeding this money. I'm available for this much money, and I am available to feel like this with money. I am available to feel like this with money. You're gonna write the I am statements, and I want you to keep those where you can see them. And then I'd like you to tap. So if you want to do heart tapping, like thorax tapping, or if you want to do anchoring, but I want you to do like a little bit of body work. And I want you to choose, like, I am now activating this within my DNA. This is who I am. And I would say to be consistent with this, I think to really, this is my practice as well. It's like a daily thing. I have these very same things that I look at and I read daily. And the first time you do this, I also wanted to say this, the first time you do this, I would love for you all to go and walk around your whole house, walk around your whole space, look at everything. Look at the windows, look at your clothes, look at the walls, look at the mirrors, look at all of your furniture, look at everything. Slowly walk around your house like a queen, moving slow. Queens move slow. And I want you to walk around, and as you're walking around your house, I want you to say some of those I am statements. I am so-and-so, say your name. I am this person, and I am a woman who experiences this, or I am a man who experiences this. I am, as you rock around your place. And then as you're doing that, you're gonna be feeling those I am statements rippling through your body, and you're now creating that new timeline that you are walking on, where money is beautiful and neutral, and it takes on the shape of the vessel that holds it. Your vessel is pristine. You have an attitude of curiosity, of responsibility, of positive expectation, of the feeling that money is love made visible, that money is an exchange of love and respect and integrity. This is the person that you're now becoming through all of this work. And then after that, okay, very last thing, after that, I assume that we all have businesses, right? Or at least we want to. And I assume that this is why you're here. So then I would love for you to go look at all of your different money pathways. Look at all of the ways that money can come into your life. Earlier in this talk, I talked about the threads of money that are always moving around the world and all of these digital transactions that are happening all the time. Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars circulating the globe all of the time. And through this work, you're just opening the funnel so that these can come into you as well. So now that you're this sparkly, super clean, pristine vessel. Oh, you're so welcome, Oksana. Now that you're this super sparkly clean vessel, I would love for you to go and look at your current prices, look at your current containers, look at your current rates, look at the ways that people can work with you. And I want you to see how they vibe with you. How do they feel with you now after you've done all of this? Do they make sense? Or have you been wildly undercharging your services? Have you been wildly leaving a massive gap in your pricing structures because you're scared of one-on-one, or you're scared of having group programs, or you're scared of having a membership, or you're scared because you don't want to open that money pathway? So after you do this practice, go and sit with your prices and your rates and be like, and you might be like, you know what? Yes, fuck yeah, those are my rates. Or you might look at them and be like, what is this? That is way too low. Or like, what is that? That is way too high. Because that's also something that people do. Sometimes they price themselves too high because they don't want people to come in. So if they state their rates too high, they're actually doing it as like, don't come work with me, right? So it can go both ways. Catherine says, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so lucky to have experienced this. Thank you so, so, so much. And thank you, Cassie, for putting everything together. I'm mind blown. I'm so happy as well. Catherine, I'm so happy. This is meant to be. I'm so grateful for all of you who are here. Okay, so you see how life-changing this is. So you're going to look for any gaps, you're going to fill them. Maybe you're going to think of some new programs, new pathways that you can do, new containers, new prices. If you want to, maybe you're going to cancel things. Like we are retiring that. We are not doing that anymore. Maybe you're going to retire some things. If it feels good for you and aligned for you, amazing would be for you to go, if something downloads for you right away after you do this, then go and declare that publicly. Go and share it. Be like, FYI, you guys, my one-on-one prices are this now, or this program is that now, or this mastermind is this now. Just FYI. When it's an energetically correct yes for you, it's going to be an energetically correct yes for your audience. And you might be astonished that when it's energetically correct for you with money, that people are like just coming right in because the frequency matches. And it's like, it's clean energy. It's clean money energy. If that's a bridge too far at this point, don't worry. You don't necessarily have to. I'm not telling you to go, you don't have to do that. But what I would love for you to do, please, 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 after you've done this, go tell a loved one, your best friend, sister, brother, mother, father, grandma, aunt, kooky neighbor, somebody that you love, somebody that you trust, somebody you feel safe with. Go tell somebody, hey, I've done this amazing practice with money, and you know what? I've decided that my rates are actually this, or I've decided I'm adding all of these different new things to my business, or I've decided I'm gonna, whatever, like if you have a business, if you don't, like something, but go say it to somebody, go express it to somebody, go say it out loud to somebody who's just gonna celebrate with you, who's gonna cheer for you, be like, wow, that sounds so cool. Good, yes, I can totally see that for you. Because that's gonna affirm it for you. And that's part of that heart chakra love loop. Okay, because we put it out and then we receive and we feel good, we feel grateful. And then we once again give from our overflow and we receive and we feel grateful. And we do this again and again because the overflow never ends. And that's the point of this money shadow work, to show that money never ends. Money is limitless. You are limitless. And I hope that all of this really helps to loosen up any blocks and get you really flowing into that flow of the limitless abundance current of money. This has been so much fun. I know we're mega over time. Try to get a manifesting generator, Gemini, Krista, to not talk for a long time. So thank you all so much for your patience. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for hanging in. Thank you for engaging. As a Mani-Gen, I love that response. I love this back and forth. This has been such a pleasure to do this for you. What a wonderful Sunday. Yes, beautiful Sunday. So enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. And thank you again, Cassie and the team and everybody for making this possible. I'm so honored to have been here. It's been such a pleasure to take part in this and to share this with you all. So enjoy your Sunday, and I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. Ciao.